A lot of people are now getting confused because many people are asking questions about what is happening in Burkina Faso, whether Africa would choose democracy or military. Why? Because Ibrahim Traore, who is a soldier, has been in office not long ago, and he has done much better than many civilian rules in Africa. This is a problem, as we know that Ibrahim Traore also is going to extend his tenure for more 5 years. And that has created so many questions in Africa. The Africa Report newspaper also is confused because African Report is asking whether Burkina Faso Ibrahim Traore is a dictator. In Africa, we know most of the military rulers as dictators. But is that true? If you check across Africa today, most of the leaders in Africa are democratic elected leaders. They are under democracy, but 95 or 99% of them are corrupt. They are the ones who are using the African money to go to Japan to buy Toyota SUV, new ones. They are the one misusing African economies. They don't think about production. They don't think about manufacturing. They don't create a job. The only thing they know is how to rig an election. And after they get that election, which they call democracy, the next thing they will do is to approve, to buy Toyota SUV, which is costing about $200,000 each. They will buy it for their governors, for their Senate, for House of Representatives, for local government chairmen. Everybody must have new cars, whether the country is poor or the country is rich. Where is this going to lead us to? Economic disaster. Tension and the panic increased. They do not know what Ibrahim Traore and Russia is planning. Most of these leaders that are panicking right now are the corrupt leaders. They are the ones that when they come into office, the first thing they will do is to approve SUV for every governor, every minister, every lawmaker, every senator. These are the ones that have been misusing their country's economies. And Ibrahim Traore is against this action. He is the only leader in Africa that never approved the use of SUV in Africa. And anybody who is going to work with him must use his own vehicle to come to work. Instead of misusing the money to buy Toyota Land Cruiser SUV, Ibrahim Traore used the money to buy tractors and employ people. All these old leaders who have been criticizing Ibrahim Traore but had used their country's money to go to Japan to buy Toyota Land Cruiser SUV are now panicking because they have found out there is one thing different between them, and that thing is mismanagement of public fund. Now, they don't know his action. Well, and this is the reason I have always said, the clear conscience fears no accusation. These leaders who have used their country's money to go to Japan to acquire Toyota Land Cruiser SUV. Some of them have bought up to 1,000 pieces just to make sure that they enjoy in their office why the masses are suffering. All these leaders, they have guilty conscience inside them, and that is the reason they are now panicking. Had it been that these leaders are completely clean, would they be afraid? Of course no. The reason they are afraid is because they know they are corrupt. And the weapon coming into Burkina Faso is now making them to be afraid. Because they don't know what this young leader is going to do. Ibrahim Traore may do something that Africa never expected. Him and Russia may go and be joining some opposition party in some corrupt countries to make sure that Africa is getting out from corruption. But this rumor, nobody knows whether it is true or not. The only thing everybody is aware of is that the number of ammunitions coming in to Burkina Faso. It's unbelievable. And African leaders never seen anything like that before. As I'm talking to you right now, there is a drone in West Africa owned by Ibrahim Traore, latest Bayrata Turkish drone hovering in West Africa. Now, Ibrahim Traore is monitoring West Africa. This is unbelievable. And a young leader whom nobody believed in the beginning has become the one God sent to show the template of good governance. Many countries are wishing if Ibrahim Traore is from their country, because Burkina Faso has never had a good leadership, as she is having it right now. And a lot of people would wish if this is happening in their countries. I just come to show you that there is a panic in Africa among the corrupt leaders. Why are they panicking? Guilty conscience. They know what they are doing wrong. Those Toyota SUV they are using to confuse us, that each time they win an election, they go there in Japan to pack 400, 500, 1,000 pieces, 300 pieces, to bring it into Africa and began to enjoy misusing our economy. Now the guilty conscience has caught them. When Africa is suffering, there is no factories in Africa. If this money they are misusing in Japan by buying Toyota SUV have been used to create factories, things would have been better today. Some of those Toyota Land Cruiser they are buying in Japan, the bulletproof one costs 200,000 US dollars. The ones that are not bulletproof cost 150,000 US dollars. Each one of it can build 3 factories in Africa. Africa is importing everything, but these corrupt leaders are misusing their country's money to go and buy Toyota Land Cruiser for 4 years. Why didn't they use it to build factories if they come for good governance? Now, there is panic among themselves. Let's see how this ends. Thank you very much for watching. This is Intavlog. Thank you.
It seems history is about to repeat itself again, but fortunately the plan was stopped. Remember how Thomas Sankara was killed by France with the help of his closest friend, Blaise Compaoré? Well, it's the same tactic that external forces, most likely France, planned to use to overthrow President Traore. But the plan was thwarted fortunately. The interesting thing is that the man at the forefront of this plot was the former Burkina Faso military junta, Paul-Henri Damiba, who was deposed by Ibrahim Traore. But what is even more shocking is the depth of the plot, which was not just about overthrowing President Traore, but also causing destabilization in Burkina Faso. The result of the investigations after the plotters were caught by the Burkinabe forces would shock you deeply to the bones, and it will reveal how some Africans are the cause of the problems of the continent. Stay with us as we delve deeply into this destabilization plot. A few days ago, in a televised address, the Burkinabe Minister of Security Mahamadou Sana gave a detailed, intricate plan that was orchestrated by some citizens of Burkina Faso living in neighboring countries, including Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Nigeria. It seems these people are not happy that President Traore is in power, and so they decided to put a plan that will remove him from power. According to the report given by the minister, the people involved in orchestrating this plot include some Burkinabe civilians, military personnel, and former military officials, all of whom are supported by Western intelligence agencies. Civil society actors and economic operators in Burkina Faso were also involved in the plot. The Burkinabe minister further revealed that several arrests have already been made and that the arrests took place in Niger. Now guess what? Among those individuals implicated in the plot was the former military junta of Burkina Faso, Paul-Henri Damiba, who was ousted from power in September 2022, as well as several prominent figures in Burkina Faso, including former ministers, journalists, and a former member of parliament. The calibers of people involved in this destabilization plot reveals how deep and wide the plot is. These people have been working behind the scenes for a while to remove President Traore from power and take over the country. The fact that the former military junta is involved in this plot makes it even more shocking because when he was deposed by Traore, he seemed to have taken it gracefully and he stepped down quietly. But with his involvement in this plot, it seems that he still holds a grudge, and external governments took advantage of this to launch a plot that will destabilize the government. The Minister of Security also revealed that those arrested were interrogated deeply, and they provided crucial information about the depth of the plot and the plans carried out by those in the plot. Now, what you are about to hear is so evil and wicked and will shock you to the bones. Remember how recently Burkina Faso suffered from several attacks from jihadist groups and how these jihadist groups were successful in their attacks? Well, Those arrested revealed that those jihadist attacks were orchestrated by their group. Imagine that. According to them, it was part of their plans to contact terrorist groups and work with them to carry out violent attacks against civilians and government institutions. The shocking part is that the recent massacre in Barcelona, the town that houses the last standing military force between terrorist groups and the capital city, Ouagadougou, where more than 309 people were killed and many more injured, was part of their plot. But that's not all. The plotters also revealed that they planned to target the presidential palace, a drone site, the Ouagadougou airport, and military positions in Mangodara before they were caught. This is evil. The Burkinabe military and the government of Ibrahim Traore have been stretched thin, working hard, and finding solutions to the terrorist problem, which has claimed thousands of lives. And yet some Burkinabe citizens, military personnel, and politicians are behind the scene, destroying everything. These people deliberately contacted JNIM, one of the most dangerous terrorist groups that have been terrorizing the Sahel region for some years now, gave them information and helped them launch attacks against their own citizens, leading to the death of many and many more wounded. Their plan, no doubt, was to ensure that the terrorist attacks in Burkina Faso increase while Traore is in power, so that they can create the narrative that President Traore is not good enough to deal with the insecurity and should be removed from power. It's the same tactic that wants to be applied in removing President Traore from power. Fighting insecurity is one of the major reasons Traore took over power. So, the plan was to make it seem as if Traore is not competent enough to deal with the insecurity by increasing the number of attacks launched against the country. If the destabilization plan was not exposed, a time will come when even the citizens of Burkina Faso that have pledged their support to President Traore would begin to withdraw their support, and that will be the time when those plotters orchestrate a coup that would remove Traore from power. Now, did you observe that most of the attacks in recent times have been targeted towards the Burkinabe military? A lot of soldiers have been killed and suffered severe injury as a result of these attacks. This was also part of their plans. So they didn't just want to turn the citizens against Traore and his administration, but also turn the soldiers against him. With more military lives lost, it might lead to a mutiny because some of the soldiers would feel that Traore is incapable of defending them and protecting them. What an evil plan.
After condemning the coup d'etat for so long, the US is now recognizing the regime of Captain Ibrahim Traore. The United States offered 35 pickup vehicles and 60 motorcycles to the National Police and the National Gendarmerie of Burkina Faso. This donation aims to strengthen the capacities of these military forces in the fight against terrorism. So my question here is, why are they donating these? What is their intention? What do they want? Burkina didn't even ask them to donate. Are they not the same people putting sanctions on Burkina Faso? Let me say that Captain Traore must pay attention to backdoor colonialism that comes in the form A. You see, few weeks ago, in spite of terrorism in the Sahel, the IFM projected that Niger and Burkina Faso will see a real GDP growth of 11.1% and 6.4%, ranking 4th and 9th in the world respectively this year. But I wondered why Mali was not on the list, or why did they leave out Mali? I know Western powers still hold grudges against the brave warrior Goita Assimi for breaking the neck of French imperialism and showing these two countries the way forward, and I don't want to speculate. But one thing is sure, there's no way Niger and Burkina Faso are going to register these massive growths without Mali. You saw what happened. They just formed a new alliance. Soon they're gonna start even using their one currency. So, despite the terrorism challenges in the Sahel, these three countries are not going to be bought by AIDS. You see, someone asked me a question yesterday about what the terrorists actually want, and I promise that I will post what Captain Ibrahim Traore has to say about the issue. Hit that subscribe button and hear him out.
Les gens ont cru. Ils ont commencé à dire qu'ils vont s'en prendre aux FDS qui sont là-bas. Ok, ils se sont un peu au commissariat, aux gendarmeries.
People believed that they will start to attack our defense and security forces. All right, they attacked police stations, gendarmeries, no
Quand
problem.
tout ça, ils ont chassé les agents de l'État.
When they finished that, they said they don't want to see any teaching here.
Beaucoup de villages ont connu cette
So they
situation.
started sacking
Parce que ce
teachers.
sont des
After
diables,
they
ils n'ont
sacked
pas
all
d'entente
government
avec eux.
workers,
Il y a
what
rien,
did
il
they
y a pas
come back
d'entente
to
possible
do?
avec eux. Aujourd'hui, ils se battent.
They sacked the
Ils ne savent pas
villagers.
pourquoi. Ont-ils revendiqué quelque
Many
chose?
villages have experienced these situations because they
Souvent,
are
on dit certains ont
devils.
voulu
They have no
manipuler
understanding with anyone. There's nothing. There is no possible agreement with them.
Ils brûlent des mosquées.
Today, they fight, and you don't know why.
Ils ne parlent ni d'église, ni
Did they
mosquée.
claim something? Did they state what they
On
want?
part sur leur base, on voit ce qu'ils sont.
At the beginning, some people lied that it was about religion. That is not true.
C'est au nom de l'église.
Experience has shown that they burn down mosques, they kill imams. It's in the name of what religion then? They spare no church, no mosque. We kill them. We go to their bases. We see what they have. It's drugs.
Les individus manipulés, ils savent même pas ce
They
qu'ils
take drugs and they come to kill. It's in the name of what? Because they are just manipulated. They are manipulated individuals who don't even know what they are doing. They are manipulated by people who are well hidden somewhere, who live very comfortably, and they, the wretched, are obliged to live in the
Ils sont
bush.
manipulés.
Even if they knew how to take advantage of your frustrations, at a given moment, you have to be reasonable because you will not be able to overcome this people, us. It's not possible. As many as they are, let them increase their numbers as they want. This is what I was saying. If they want, let them raise 1 million armed men. We will raise 10 million armed men in Burkina, and we will deal with them. Then the crowd went wild when they heard that. The youth love their captain. Remember, I told you that under the previous corrupt government, when they called for volunteers for the defense of the motherland, VDP, people were not enthusiastic about it. But when Captain came and asked for 50k VDPs, over 90k people showed up. It tells you that when people find a true leader, they will gladly answer the call of the nation. Anyway, I hope this helps out to clear the doubts. And someone asked me about the failed coup that happened against Captain Ibrahim Traore 2 days ago. I have already posted the video on this channel. You can go and check it out. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Subscribe, like this video, and give us your thoughts on the comment section below.